Hello again for another instalment of Black Metal Dad, a journey into the dark underbelly of parenthood. Firstly, I'd like to say a big thanks to for all the support that you guys and girls have given me. To celebrate, I decided to grow out my hair. I like it. Before I begin, can I ask that if you like what you've seen and read, can you spread the word? Everyone needs a little Black Metal Dad in their lives, don't you think? Righto, let's get into it. This reading comes from a chapter where I discuss my spawn's schooling and sporting activities. One year, our family went camping in Mount Gambier for a few days over the New Year's Eve. Boris would have turned 7. Him and Mugwump had met a few other kids around the campgrounds, and as chooks do, they decided to have a little fun with their new friends. Between the two of them, they came up with the story that Boris was adopted, his real name was Watson, and he was born in Texas, the US. No shit. While these two can cause me a mountain of grief, the stuff they come up with is genius. So skip forward a couple of months and we're attending the dreaded annual parent-teacher interviews. Karen loved them, not so much for me. It goes without saying, really. First, Boris's teacher, we'll call her Miss Freckle, discussed the planned curriculum. Same shit, different year. No surprises there. Then she pulled out one of our lads' books and handed it to Karen as I started developing that glazed look you get when you've got no interest at all in what's going on around you. Who's Watson? Miss Freckle inquired. That brought me out of my reverie. What? Karen and I responded. She tapped the front of the workbook with a standard issue big ballpoint biro. I remember thinking that she must be new to her career as she had yet to purchase a pen of higher quality. We looked to where she was pointing. Written there in barely legible scrawl was the name Watson Chook. Who is Watson? She repeated. Your son won't answer to Boris. Only Watson. Freckle was in teacher mode now and was questioning us like we were the ones responsible for the little boy's mind games. I guess genetically we were. No idea, said Karen. No, not ringing any bells with me either. We obviously knew exactly where Watson came from. He also says he's born in Texas, Miss Freckle continued, signs of stress clearly visible on her face. Sorry, but he's doing my fucking head in. The struggle was real. I looked at my wife and found she was also near breaking point. Don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this, she mumbled as she took my hand and we ran out of the classroom. We made it a few steps down the corridor before nearly dying of laughter. I can hear you, came the tearful wail from the classroom we just escaped from. Sorry, Miss Freckle, we cackled as we ran down the hall and back to the car like a pair of escaped lunatics. We managed to get our shit together by the time we got home and called Boris into the kitchen for a chat. Hey Mum, hey my lord, he said as he took a seat on his mother's lap. Hey mate, we replied in unison. What a team. Karen took point on this one. So, Boris, you know we just saw Miss Freckle, right? Who's that? He asked, his moon-like face scrunched up in confusion. I butted in, taken aback by a sudden lack of mental acuity. Boris was the most intelligent of my offspring. What do you mean, who's that? It's your teacher. Did you hit your head while we were gone? You mean Sarah? Seriously? What is it with young'uns being on a first-name basis with their teachers? This practice needs to be crushed out of existence like the dinosaurs. Whatever, do go on, my dear, I commented in disgust, handing the floor back to my wife. Okay, she continued, so we saw Sarah, right? Boris nodded while eagerly ramming his forefinger up his nose. All the way to the second knuckle. Impressive. Well, she asked why you write Watson on your books and why you don't answer to your real name. Want to tell us? Because I like Watson better than Boris. I was not going to let that slide. Hang on a sec, my son. What are you talking about? Boris is a strong name, a name of kings and warriors. Watson is a shit name. Nah, fucking yeah. This went on for a little while before Karen silenced both of us with her trademark demonic howl. Honey, can you please just use your real name? It's hurting your teacher's brain, she asked our youngest. Okay, Mum. I don't want to hurt Sarah's brain. I like her. Thanks, buddy. Karen squeezed her son lovingly. You're such a good boy, you know that? Boris hugged her back and then went back to his room to continue with whatever he was doing before we interrupted him. Probably trying to end world hunger or something equally virtuous. Now, when it comes to sport, Boris is naturally gifted. Doesn't matter what it is. If he shows an interest in it, he will excel. This ability must come from his mother's side because my achievements in the sporting realm are lacklustre at best. The alternative is that he is not mine, which can in turn only mean one thing. That Boris, like Christ himself, was the product of immaculate conception. There could be no other reason. It'd also go a long way to explaining why the kid's just so damn nice. He's nothing like the rest of us. A light of redemption in a pool of darkness, that's what he is. His great love in this world is soccer, or football if you're talking to him. I remember taking him to some come and try sessions when he was a wee lad. While all the other kids struggled to even get boot to ball before falling on their asses, Boris was dribbling his ball around the course laid out by the coaches like fucking Maradona. He was a natural. It wasn't long before we signed up to a local club. The first season though was a disaster. Every game was the same. Both teams would run towards each other from opposite sides of the pitch and slam together in the middle like a mini wall of death. It was more like watching a rugby match than a beautiful game. Even at this young age, Boris would get frustrated at his teammates' lack of skill and he would just storm off the pitch in tears. It'd be worse if they were losing. And this right here is why it's bullshit they don't keep score in kids' sports. The officials may not be keeping a tally, but as much as I argue otherwise, the little buggers aren't stupid. They know who's kicked more goals. Anyway, he stuck it out and now plays in an age group where they keep a tally and all the teams in the competition are playing for a premiership, as it should be. The icing on it all is that he's taken out best and fairest 2 years in a row, but who's counting? Boris is now of an age where he runs rings around me, regardless of the sport we're playing. To counter this, I resort to using my size and martial arts skills to get the better of him. This gets him pissed off. He calls me a cheat, but I argue that I'm just playing by the rules of the street. I need to be careful though. He could make the big time and be my meal ticket out of his dreary existence. That's all for now. Until next time, love you and leave you. Share Black Metal Dad. And hail Satan!